It's that time again, my friends. It is the Amplified Man, and it's Amplified Q&A. Holla at your boy B motherfucking C. A lot of questions to get to. I want to get right into them. It is Elimination Chamber weekend, nearly, right? It's Thursday. We'll just extend the weekend a little bit because tomorrow's video, there is a Friday video tomorrow that is amplified booking of the Elimination Chamber. We're going to run down the card. We're going to do amplified booking. How would your boy B motherfucking C book the Elimination Chamber? You're going to find out tomorrow. And I got some surprises, some things you think you know BC and who he's going to put where. But you're going to be surprised when you hear some of the names I got winning and how they're going to win in tomorrow's video. I want to get into it, guys. This is where I get to answer your guys' questions via social media, via YouTube, via Twitter. Not so much on my Instagram. That's for me to post some pictures and you guys to have some fun with. Show it some love if you wish. But Twitter, I definitely take questions from. And YouTube on the videos, man. Drop questions down in the comments. I can't always get to all of them, obviously, but I try to. So yeah, man. Let's get into it, man. I love this part of the week. Get to interact with you guys. And I just want to say straight out, too. I don't do this often enough, and I don't want you to think it doesn't mean a lot to me. For every single person who interacts with me, watches these videos alone, thank you so much. Even if you're really shy or you don't like to really interact too much, you just want to watch the videos from afar, that's definitely cool, man. Thank you. If you go the extra mile and you smash that like button, extra thank you. That means a lot to me. And if you comment, obviously, or like and comment, obviously, that means so much. So thank you guys for interacting. And again, even if you're just shy and you don't want to interact and you just watch the videos, that's cool too. But if you smash that like button, that really does mean a lot to me. So thanks a lot, guys. All right, now I'll shut up. I'll get to the questions, all right? Excuse me if I'm butchering names here, guys. I'm literally reading these off the cuff. I haven't had any, I didn't read them and think of an answer in advance so it goes good on camera. No, this is right off the cuff. We might stutter a little bit. We may fuck up. We may botch. It's all on the fly. This is, I hope I'm saying this right, Elijah over on Twitter. BC, what do you think of Brock Lesnar making $12 million in 2017 and Dean Ambrose, who works more than anyone, only made $2.7 million? Makes me think Brock is only in it for the money if it takes $12 million just to keep him for less than 10 events a year. Your thoughts? A lot of misconception in this, though, Elijah, because I believe you said Brock made $12 million in 2017, but I believe I read this article in 2017 in April for 2016. So I think those numbers were for 2016, Elijah. 2017's numbers won't really be fully announced until end of March, early April, at least the most accurate numbers that we know of. Will be end of March, early April, just like last year's for 2016. So that may seem minor, but that's a pretty big deal because 2016 was a huge year for Brock Lesnar. Taking on fucking Fastlane, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, then WrestleMania with Dean Ambrose. Then he had SummerSlam with Randy Orton. Then he had Survivor Series with Goldberg. That was a big year for Brock. He did carry a lot of that fucking company on his shoulders in those big, massive matches. So that was huge. And the $12 million isn't just the contract numbers. There was bonuses in there and other, not just merchandising, but there was other numbers in there that factored into that $12 million. Because Brock was making $6 million a year, up even now to this point. So that $12 million, there's a lot that goes into it. As far as comparing him to, say, as you say, Dean Ambrose, who was getting $2.7 million in 2016, two different beasts, two different animals. And first, I do want to say you are correct. In 2016, that's when Dean Ambrose was pulling double duty. And he was even doing, 2 dates on Saturdays and Sundays because Roman Reigns was also kind of, was that when he was suspended? I think that's when he was suspended or he got injured. And Dean Ambrose had to pick up the slack. But still, $2.7 million, guys, when you look at 2016 numbers, you had, who was it? Let me get the numbers here. Randy Orton was getting $1.9 million in 2016. $1.9 million. Dean Ambrose was 2.7. Seth Rollins was getting 2 million. Dean Ambrose was more than that. John Cena was making 8 million, but he was getting a lot of his money from other avenues as well. A lot of movies and stuff. These were not numbers just from WWE. You guys got to realize that. So Brock's 12 million came from other avenues. But to compare Brock and Dean Ambrose is apples to oranges, because Brock Lesnar is that mega star, that big fight feel star that I always tell you guys about. We all love Dean Ambrose, but that's like, let me put it to you this way, guys. Say you open up a new coffee shop or whatever your interest is. Maybe you like video games. You open up a new video game store to compete with GameStop, okay? Or you're into nutritious foods. You open up a nutritious foods store to compete with like Whole Foods or fucking Mrs. Green Thumbs or whatever the fuck. And you're going to do a commercial. Your mother has been there from day one. She even has a little bit of acting experience from her time in New York or LA. Or your best friend, he's been there or she's been there from the beginning, helping you develop this business and make it to what it is today, ready for its grand opening. And maybe they have a little bit of acting experience, and they're your first candidate to act in this commercial. Not only are they your best friend, or she is your mother or your father, and they have a little bit of acting experience, so it fits. Who else would you get to do the job? They've been there since day one. They really want to star in this commercial, but all of a sudden, you find out The Rock has somebody close to him that loves your idea, your concept, or your coffee, or your video game vision for where you want to take this store. And The Rock agrees to do a commercial for you. His people come to you and say, hey, you are going to have to pay a good amount, but The Rock will put you on the map. What do? Do you go to your mother? Do you go to your father? Do you go to your best friend, Dave Dipshit, and say, shit, I love ya, but you got to hit bricks. You got to hit the road. You got to get to stepping. The Rock is coming in to do my commercial. But they've been with you from day one. How can you push them aside for the bigger star? That's your mama. That's your dada. That's your best friend, Dave Dipshit. But you got to push him aside because it's the fucking Rock. The Rock is going to do the commercial. It's going to cost you a lot up front, absolutely. But you're going to be put on the map. You're going to be legitimate from that point going forward. When that commercial first airs, your shop is now legitimate. Your shop is now actually going to compete and may even beat Mrs. Green Thumbs in Whole Foods or Starbucks or GameStop. Because the bigger star came in. You were able to land the fucking Rock. Vince McMahon in WWE had the chance of a lifetime. Brock Lesnar, fresh off of whooping ass in UFC, even when he was losing, he was one of the biggest, if not the biggest draw. And Vince had him on his lap, ready to come back. You're going to chuck money at him. Not only are you going to get all that revenue back, but you're just going to be put on the map. You're going to be legitimate. You're going to be talked about on SportsCenter. Remember when Brock decided what he's going to do? That was a spectacle, guys. Is he going to go to UFC or is he going to sign with WWE? Do you guys remember that? That was broken on SportsCenter with a sit-down interview with Brock. That wasn't one of Jonathan Coachman's little segments he did. No, that was an actual 9 a.m. slot that Brock Lesnar did a sit-down interview, and it was breaking news all day long. Every media outlet. That's what I mean. He's going to make that money. You can't compare Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose of all fucking people. We can begin the discussion at AJ Styles, maybe. Not even Seth Rollins, man. And I just became a Seth Rollins actual fan. I always liked Rollins. I just became a fan after seeing his performance Monday. But AJ Styles, we can begin the conversation. But it still is apples to oranges. Brock is a conglomerate. He is a big fight field megastar on his own level. He just is. Whether you guys hate him or not, that's another story. Whether you think he's boring or not, that's another story. But he is. So again, I do want to reiterate though, guys, I think these were 2016's numbers because I saw this same article in April of 2017. We'll get 2017's numbers come April of this year. But I still expect Brock to be making bank. I mean, you look at his last UFC 200 payday, the UFC 200, he collected over $2.5 million. Of course Vince is going to throw that at him. You know, and a lot of that $12 million didn't just come from WWE. But yeah, he got a good chunk, $6 million a year, absolutely, and he deserves to. And that's when Ambrose 2016 was really pulling the double duty too. Obviously, he slowed down in 2017, and obviously end of 2017 into 2018, he's been non-existent due to his injury. But it seems a lot of this question, Elijah, was from kind of a 2016 discussion. But I modernized it a little bit, and you can still use this 2016 question today because Brock is still a once-in-a-lifetime beast. Nobody that I know of right now can come close to him. Can they build Braun Strowman as such? I hope so. But as of now, it looks like they're going to put Roman Reigns in that spot. And as much as I don't hate Roman Reigns, I also don't think Roman Reigns should be the guy to take out the Beast. But it is what it is, man. We'll go over to Jerry over on Twitter as well. Hey, yo, BC. I don't know if you've heard anything about Vince McMahon selling WWE. If not, I believe knowing Jeff Jarrett is going into the Hall of Fame, do you think Vince should buy out TNA Wrestling? I would love to hear your thoughts on this matter. Well, Jerry, I will say this. The rumblings about Vince selling WWE have always really been there. In fact, Stephanie McMahon just answered this question, I believe, on some media conference call. And she was asked, have you ever thought about selling WWE, or your father, you, Paul, in the future? And she said, absolutely. We're always open to hearing offers. So Stephanie didn't even hold back. She said, we're always open to hearing offers. Could Fox one day buy WWE? Could Disney? Those are two top names, guys. Fox and Disney. Could you guys picture Walt Disney, Disney World owning WWE? I don't know if we'd ever get that Attitude Era back, let me just say. But then again, there's other people that say, hey, under Disney's umbrella, I'd be doing better than Vince McMahon's umbrella. Who knows? But there's always rumblings. Nothing obviously concrete anytime in the near future about selling WWE. As far as Jeff Jarrett going into the Hall of Fame and Vince buying TNA Wrestling, I think right now, wham, snap of a fingers, Vince McMahon could buy TNA Wrestling. Absolutely. I don't think Vince McMahon actually wants to pull the trigger. He had 20 different occasions he could have easily bought it, and he never did. I think the TNA library means a lot to him, and getting that on his network, he still doesn't own full control of that library yet. So I think he wants to own full control of that, the whole entire thing, eventually. I don't think buying TNA means anything to Vince. I think that's a waste of money. I think Vince McMahon has already watched this thing die a slow death. When he purchased WCW was about to die a slow death, and he just wanted to kill it like a fucking cockroach. And he just bought the son of a bitch and pretty much destroyed it from within. So that goes to show you Vince McMahon. As far as TNA, he doesn't need to waste the money. TNA's doing a perfectly fine job on its own, killing itself from within. And I think Vince McMahon will be there when it's all said and done to pick up the scraps and buy that library for dirt cheap, or buy whatever he wants for dirt cheap. Mitch over on Twitter, hey BC, if Paige was not out of commission, how would you book her? That's a good question, because Paige was just starting to hit her stride when she got injured. Nobody's fault, again, just one of those freak accidents. I honestly believe you're going to see Paige back. I really do, guys. I don't think this is going to be career-ending, just like Daniel Bryan is going to come back. I think Paige is going to come back. I think they're giving it an ample amount of time. They're going to redo some tests in the future. She's going to get some of the best treatment. She's going to come back, whether under WWE or not. I think it's going to be with WWE in the near future. I really, really do, man. I don't think you've seen the last of Paige. How I would book her right now, if she wasn't out of commission, I would honestly do something with Ruby Riott. You don't have to throw straps on Paige. You don't have to put her in title matches. Let her do some cool things with some of these up-and-comers. I really wanted to see something with Absolution and Riot Squad. If you're going to do 6-woman tag schmozzes all the fucking time, at some point, I would like to see the cross-branding between Raw and SmackDown, Raw's Absolution, SmackDown's Riot Squad. I want to see something with Paige and Ruby Riott. And down the road, if they ever opening up a women's tag team division, I would love to see Ruby Riott and Paige in a tag team. That's badass booking. Where you want to go, guys? Let's Let's go Ultimate 3D on Twitter. This kind of goes hand in hand with the other question I had. Thoughts on Jeff Jarrett going into the Hall of Fame? I think it's good. I was a little bit shocked when I first heard it, but it makes sense. WWE was actually sponsoring and paying for his rehab that he recently went to. That was under WWE's rehab money. So Vince McMahon was probably like, shit, we're already paying for this motherfucker. We might as well fucking get something in return. So they're going to put Jeff Jarrett in there. What was more shocking was that when Jeff Jarrett left WWE, it was not under good circumstances. Vince McMahon and Jeff Jarrett were butting heads. And Jeff Jarrett wanted nothing more than to put Vince McMahon out of business. And he fucking tried. He gave it the old college try. The attaboy when he opened up TNA Wrestling. And then when he left that, he tried again with the old college try. The attaboy with GFW Wrestling. And then he tried to merge the motherfuckers. He tried it all until it finally drove him to drink. Because that's what trying to beat Vince McMahon will do. It's so fucking hard. But I give Jeff Jarrett the utmost credit for trying. There's only a handful of guys at best, only a couple that I can think of. Paul Heyman and Jeff Jarrett being at the top of that list that actually had the fucking balls, the fortitude, the gusto to try to take out Vince McMahon. I wish to God that Paul Heyman didn't just give up after ECW. I wish Paul Heyman kept fucking trying. Because I think Paul Heyman was the motherfucker to do the deed. To give Vince the run for his money. A la Eric Bischoff. Like what Bischoff did with fucking WCW. But even more, I think if Paul Heyman had the right resources and finances and the right fit, Paul Heyman could have gave it another go. That's what pisses me off. I don't know if Jeff Jarrett ever had it in him to actually give Vince McMahon a true run for his money. But again, I respect the fact that he tried. And I think deep down, Vince McMahon loves competition. I think deep down, Vince respected that. So as much as I was shocked about that, I think Jeff Jarrett belongs there. Not necessarily for what he did in WWE. Although, even though that was a short run with WWE, he left memorable moments. The little feud with Road Dogg and My Baby Tonight. You know, he was his roadie. And the IC championship strap, I think he meant, what's the best wording, man? I think he made that meaningful again, that belt, back in the day. When it was starting to lose luster, Jeff Jarrett was the ideal IC champion, to me anyway. He was like what the Honky Tonk Man was back in the 80s. That was Jeff Jarrett in those 90s. But, so even though he had a short run in WWE, he still had a memorable one for me. But more so, his commitments and contributions outside of WWE is why he deserves to be in that Hall of Fame. It's just going to be interesting to see how Jeff Jarrett and Vince McMahon interact with each other come WrestleMania weekend. Kind of like the behind-the-scenes footage we saw for WWE 24/7 or WWE 365, one of those network shows when you saw the Ultimate Warrior and Vince McMahon interacting with each other after they've had this long-stemming feud for years and years, decades. And here they are laughing, smiling, and shooting the shit together. That was really cool to see, and I think it's going to be just as cool to see Jeff Jarrett and Vince shooting the shit and sharing some laughs. Amanda, over on YouTube, if you were a wrestler in the WWE, what is the one thing you'd say to the WWE creators and writers? I would say, if you're going to book me, you better book me right. Well, that's very good, Amanda. If you're going to book me, you better book me right. I agree with you. I'd probably say that as well. But what I would also say is get a fucking clue. To my writers, if I'm a wrestler in WWE and they're going over shit that I have to say, I'm going to say get a fucking clue. I'm not following your stupid fucking script. I'm going to say what's from my heart and my mind because it's going to be 20 times more better and more effective than what you're telling me to robotically repeat on camera. And then I would say, do your job. Do your fucking job. Because you suck at what you do right now, and you're driving this whole entire fucking business creatively into the ground. Understand characters. Understand the human beings behind the characters and the characters in front of the human beings. And write to that effect. Do your job. Get a clue. Get it right. I know that seems harsh to say to my peers, but you're not, if you can fuck yourself over, you can have everyone talking about how shitty creative is. You're not going to get everyone talking about how shitty of a fucking wrestler I am or a promo cutter because of your fucking stupid shit that you want me to robotically repeat on camera. Fuck that and fuck you. How's that, Amanda? Amanda had a second question too. I don't always get to Amanda's question, so I am going to answer this one. This one's a little quick, fun one. Why do they keep putting Dolph in random matches? Well, I got a question for you, Amanda. Why do they put every fucking superstar in random matches every single week and have them roller coaster? It's more than just 50-50 booking. You'll have one superstar win 1 week, lose 2 weeks in a row, then win 1 week, lose 2 more weeks, win 3 weeks, lose 2 weeks. Nobody's got momentum. Momentum? What the fuck is that? It's a merry-go-round of inconsistency. So you want to talk about Dolph, Amanda? Everybody is booked randomly in WWE because it goes back to creative. They ain't. Sorry if I butcher this. Abhi, over on YouTube, BC, do you think Randy Orton is being underutilized? How would you book Randy Orton? Always a big fan of Randy, and it's kind of sad to see him in the mid-card. Randy Orton didn't do any favors to himself when he started in this business, guys. He had a real attitude, and everyone called him an asshole. So off the gates, he didn't do himself any favors. When you're a true asshole in real life, you're pretty much not going to get too far. Because Randy Orton is so damn talented, he kept his career long stemming in what it is today. Because he is so talented. If his talents were any more lackluster or mediocre talents, Randy Orton probably would not be in WWE today, guys. Or maybe he would have been gone for years and maybe just brought back as a second chance. But his talents were so fucking flawless. But he was an asshole in real life. He's gotten better over the years, finally. But he didn't help himself. On top of that, his character got stale and boring. When your character gets stale and boring, the fan reaction and response to you is gonna drop off and fall off. And I think Randy Orton was a victim of that. Randy Orton, in the last 5 to 10 years at least, has not really renowned, what am I saying? He's not redone his character, basically. There's a word I was trying to say, and I can't fucking spit it out. So rather than look like a fucking idiot for the next 5 minutes, I'll just say redo. He did not redo his character. And you have to refresh in your character every now and again. There comes a time where your character might get stale, and you have to give your character an energy boost, a shot of adrenaline. You know, and you got to redo it, man, and you got to refresh it and re-up it. And Randy Orton did not do that. Randy Orton just played that kind of methodical Viper character that got him to the dance, but also is why he floated into mid-card status. So, do I think he's being underutilized? Probably, but rightfully so. Like you, I also like Randy Orton. Definitely. The guy is one of the best wrestlers in the business. He's so flawless and fluent with his movements. But when your character isn't quite there, and you've never been the best promo guy, and others have said you've been difficult to work with, maybe Randy Orton has hit his peak in his career already. Maybe the mid-card is where he's at going forward. Unless they can give his character, and creative can give his character a shot of adrenaline and get that character refreshed and re-upped again. Then you could see Randy Orton. As far as how I would book him, again, unless he's willing to change his character a little bit, there's not much you can do with it. I would make him an assassin-type character, though. The type of character, when you saw him and Triple H fighting in their house, who was it? Was it Randy Orton went to Triple? No, I think it was Triple H went to Randy Orton's house. But I would flip the roles. I would have Randy Orton in positions where he's going to somebody's house. Or Randy Orton's waiting in the parking lot for somebody. Randy Orton needs to be that badass character. If he's going to be methodical, if he's going to be a Viper, book him in such situations. I love the RKOs out of nowhere, but sometimes you got to do more than that. An RKO out of nowhere every single week is not going to cut it. JQ James over on YouTube. I don't know about you guys, but has anybody seen Carmella? Of course not. Why would we see Carmella? She's only got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Leave it to WWE to take the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, one of the women that we really should be seeing a lot of, because when she finally cashes in, we should probably give a shit. But instead, they don't even have her on television. She's too busy playing around on Facebook. Facebook Live in the Mixed Match Challenge, where about 4 or 5 people are watching her. Nobody is seeing her on SmackDown or even hearing this woman's name. So when she finally cashes in, are we even going to remember that she even had the briefcase, much less give a fuck about it? Most likely not. Hold on. I'm dropping my notes and my questions here. What the fuck? So anyway, nobody's seen Carmella other than on Facebook because WWE doesn't know what the fuck to do with her, and she's probably just gonna fucking lose outright to Asuka if Asuka does go over to SmackDown. Whoever the fuck's gonna be, I don't see her picking up a championship is what I'm saying, guys. This could honestly be, and I like Carmella, this could honestly be another failed cash-in, just like Baron Corbin's. Aaron over on YouTube, BC, this just came to mind. Do you remember when Snooki from the Jersey Shore went to WrestleMania to team up with Trish Stratus and John Morrison versus Lay Cool and Dolph Ziggler? I'd like to know your thoughts on it. Much love and respect, BC. Keep killing it. Well, thank you. Much love and respect to you too, Aaron. That's no offense, Aaron. That's a random question out of nowhere. I do remember Snooki showing up at WrestleMania. As far as my thoughts on that, I didn't mind it at all. I liked Snooki. I thought she was a cute little shit. She was a little spitfire. Cute little Italian chick. And I spent a lot of time down at the Jersey Shore, so I mean, it was like, I'm also Italian. I spent time at the Jersey Shore. It's like one of my own going to WrestleMania. And again, she's a little spitfire, man. I loved it. And then you saw her do this, like, what was it, guys? It was like a cartwheel, fucking spinning elbow into the turnbuckle. She came out there doing fucking flips and dives, and Snooki's got some gymnastic background I never knew. So Snooki went out there and she was doing more wrestling skills than fucking James Ellsworth. So I was definitely down with Snooki, man. She was one of the bright points of that match for sure, because you hear the unfortunate story that Trish Stratus tells. And John Morrison and who was his girl there, guys? Melina. They were not too kind to Trish Stratus when she came back. And then that pisses me off because everyone knows that John Morrison is cocky and he's an arrogant asshole and an arrogant son of a bitch. But when somebody comes back that helped pave the way for you, and even if she's a woman, it doesn't fucking matter. People like Trish Stratus is the reason you were in those matches. She helped pave the way. And when she goes to do a WrestleMania match and she's teaming with you, and she said in her own interviews that she was trying to be friendly and she wanted to get to know them and really make this special, and they made the experience bad for them. For her, because they were being horrible to her, because I guess Melina had an issue with Trish Stratus interacting with John Morrison. So in return, John Morrison also treated Trish Stratus like shit. So what they did was they ruined a cool moment for Trish Stratus because they wanted to be arrogant pricks. It's no wonder that John Morrison and Melina both aren't in WWE anymore, because when you treat people like shit, karma comes to bite you in the ass. What comes around, mark my words, what comes around, it goes around. Wait, did I fuck that up? Well, what goes around comes around, and what comes around will go around again. Whatever the fuck I'm saying, when you fuck over somebody, you're gonna get fucked over. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, man. I need another coffee. How's that go anyway? What comes around what goes around comes around. That's it, right? What goes around comes around. Oh, fuck. Right now I got hundreds of people Googling this shit. I think it's what goes around coming. But the bottom line is, when you treat people like shit in this world, guys, be prepared for it to come back around and bite you in the ass. Where's John Morrison today? Where's Melina today? Fighting somewhere in Lucha fucking Underground. Lucha fucking where the fuck? It's... And I like Melina, by the way. This woman had talent. She was beautiful. She had it all. And her career just went like that, man. Way too short. As far as John Morrison, give or take, man. I never cared about John Morrison at all. He had the charisma of a fucking pineapple. And again, his attitude was that of a fucking tangerine. The fuck out of here. Frank over on YouTube, BC, I've been wondering if Sasha retired today. Ooh, I don't want to think about that. If Sasha retired today, who would be your Raw girl, your new Raw girl? Fuck, Frank. It'd have to be Ronda Rousey, now that she's going to Raw. Ronda Rousey, I know, man. Oh, Ronda Rousey, she's got to prove herself. BC, Ronda Rousey shouldn't be taking spots. Ronda Rousey's going to bury people. Ronda Rousey's the devil. BC, Ronda Rousey's the Antichrist. BC, Ronda Rousey is like the worst thing in the world since like fucking like drugs. No, I pick Ronda Rousey. She's larger than life. You guys know how much I love Brock Lesnar. She is the female version now. I want Ronda Rousey to go in there and beat the fuck out of everybody. If Sasha Banks retired tomorrow, first of all, I'm going to cry myself. I'm going to get the tear bucket and cry myself a fucking river in a fucking closet somewhere, pitch dark, and just fucking sob my fucking eyes out. Not Sasha! And then I'd pick myself up and I'd say, all right, Ronda, let's go kick ass. So it'd have to be Ronda Rousey. Over on SmackDown, I'd have to be fucking Naomi still. And once Ember Moon comes up, who knows? I don't know where Ember Moon's going to show up, but you know I love me some Ember fucking Moon. I don't know what's going to happen when Ember Moon comes up. But I don't want to think about that hypothetical. Sasha Banks is not retiring, hopefully, anytime soon. Sasha Banks is going to continue to whoop that ass. And I got some big plans for her coming up at the Chamber and going into WrestleMania. If you guys want to know what that is, you got to check out the video tomorrow over on... what the fuck is it? Amplified Booking Elimination Chamber. That's it. I'm going to end this now, guys, so we can go about our Thursday. Again, I'll see you guys tomorrow for Amplified Booking Elimination Chamber. I have a fun booking for the Chamber. We're definitely going to book the shit out of this Chamber. For now, coffee is an ass whippings, man. You know how we do Thursday up, just like every other fucking day. The Amplified man, he's cashing the fuck out. I'll let your boy BC. For now, I'll check you.